the PDP was killed by the ambition of Atiku Abubakar to president in 2023. At a time, he was supposed to be supporting his own preferred candidate from the south, as we saw in the APC, when the northern flank of the APC fight behind their preferred candidate from the south for the purpose of power shift. So the consequence of what PDP did was that they have lost their southern base. They have lost their middle belt base. People are leaving the PDP because the party is like a sick man, a very sick man that is suffering from multiple organ failure. So from his NWC to NERC, to the BOT, and to the general membership, the PDP seems to be in a very dysfunctional state. And this is not very far-fetched because it was predictable. In the lead up to the presidential election of 2023, the PDP committed a mortal sin. And you know, the Bible says that the wages of sin is death. And so PDP actually died a slow death, arising from that mortal sin it committed in 2023. And that sin was the PDP's jettisoning of the zoning formula that should have seen the party throw up a southern candidate in the 2027 presidential election. The failure of the PDP to abide by what is part of his own internal working mechanisms and what was in consonance with the feelings in the country then, the national mood, which supported the shift of power from the north to the south. After 8 years of the Buhari presidency in the north, the PDP failed to read the tea leaves correctly and decided to sail against the wind. And so as I wrote, even ahead of the presidential election then, that if the PDP were to sail against the wind that was blowing south in 2023 presidential election and went ahead to field a northern candidate, that it will actually run into troubled waters, it will sink and go into oblivion. So the PDP is gradually going into oblivion with the emergence from that election of a southern presidential candidate. So the PDP is in troubled waters. It's a self-inflicted problem. It is made consciously by the PDP because of its miscalculation. And the consequences of that miscalculation is what you are seeing now. So the PDP is unlikely to recover from it. And like you rightly pointed out, members that are leaving the party is because they do not see any future in the party at all. The ruling party, the APC, is going to actually overrun the southern half of Nigeria eventually because one of their own is in power. And this was what we tried to warn the PDP against in the 2023 presidential election. And well, the rest is now history. The first thing the PDP should have done after the election was to come to terms to why they lost the election, admit their error of judgment going into that election, and begin to make moves towards remediation. That has not been done. If you recall, in the period of the 2019 election, the PDP held, or rather put together a committee that was chaired by the then Deputy Senate President, Ike Ekweremadu. And the party was charged with, way forward out of the defeat of 2015 election. One of the reports of the committee pointed out clearly that the reason why the party lost the 2015 election primarily was because they also violated zoning in 2015. At the time they were supposed to be fielding another candidate, they fielded a southern candidate. And that actually affected the fortunes of the party going to the polls. And that committee recommended that going to 2019 election, there should be a remedy to that error, which is to field a northern candidate and leave the race open to only northern candidates. The PDP abided by that committee report, and in 2019, it was all a northern affair. And so in the build-up to the 2019 election, there was already, an atmosphere within the party that sends a message of, we admit we made an error of judgment by fielding a southern candidate. We are now ready to open the field, for northern compatriots. And you saw the inflow, the defection then from the APC of the likes of Atiku Abubakar, Governor Tambuwal, Saraki and others who had initially left the PDP for the same reason, back to the PDP, which strengthened the party going to the 2019 election. Even though President Muhammadu Buhari was declared the winner, but many people still came out with that impression that the PDP have actually won the election but was rigged out. But it shows you the level of outstanding performance of the party for people to have such an impression. As we speak, those who made this error in the PDP in the 2023 election have not had the decency to admit that at the time that Atiku Abubakar was running in Northerner on the ticket of the PDP, he wasn't supposed to be running. And at the time that the field should have been left open for only Southerners in the party, the northern wing of the party came in and took the party candidacy. they've not admitted this error. They've not. It's like if you commit a sin, you repent, you admit it, you confess your sin, and then you repent of it and make, amends. That has not been done. Those who led the party down this road are still standing their ground, hardening down and doubling down on their error, and are fighting imaginary enemies who protested this injustice by supporting
are you referring to
the PDP is still in disarray?
Are you referring by any chance to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the likes of Tambua, the likes of Dr. Ayu? Are those the culprits that you are referring to?
Sule Lamido, all of the northern wing of the PDP created this problem for the PDP. And I will say today, if the PDP is a dying party or a dead party, the PDP was killed by the ambition of Atiku Abubakar to president in 2023. At a time, he was supposed to be supporting his own preferred candidate from the south, as we saw in the APC, when the northern flank of the APC fight behind their preferred candidate from the south for the purpose of power shift. You see, if you look at my body of work as a columnist and as an analyst, I am very particular about national integration, national unity, social cohesion, justice, equity, and fairness in all of my commentaries. It's a commentary that runs through. And so the same way some of us felt that, look, after 8 years of a Buhari presidency, especially one that was very divisive, one that was very sectional, one that drove Nigeria down the road to Sudan, it was the last-ditch effort to save Nigeria's national unity was going to power shift to the south. A lot of us advocated for that look, Nigeria cannot accept a long-term presidency back-to-back for 8 years. No. It will create an apartheid system. It will put a glass ceiling on some sections of Nigerians that cannot aspire beyond the number 2 position in their own country. That will not be the kind of country I want to part of. And so we thought that the PDP, whose support base interestingly is in the south, more in the south, should have rewarded that loyal southern base with the ticket of the party. Whether the party was going to win or not, it doesn't matter. Do the right thing and lose, rather than do the wrong thing as they did and still lose. So the consequence of what PDP did was that they have lost their southern base. They have lost their middle belt base. And the party has not even gained a foothold in the core north. So where is the party in all of this? And those who led the party down this road have not had the decency, again, let me emphasize, to admit this error. And what we see now is that they are coming together to form a coalition against the incumbent, forgetting fundamentally that as we speak, the governors of the PDP, which is supposed to be the life wire of the party, the governors of the PDP, are mostly from the south and the middle belt of this country. And the south and the middle belt are resolute on power shift to the south. So no matter the infighting within the PDP, I can assure you that the bulk of the senators, the rep members, and the governors of the platform of the PDP will support a southern presidency for 8 years rather than opting for another presidency to locate a southern presidency midway. That will not happen. So the party is in serious trouble.
Majid Dahuru, that is his name. He has just explained to you what is happening to the PDP. I came across this man sometime in 2022 when the Obedience movement was forming, when Peter Obi was still in the PDP. When Peter Obi was soliciting for vote from the PDP delegate in order to become the presidential flag bearer of the PDP in the 2023 general election. I also remember when the Obedience movement staged a march in the PDP headquarters across the country, beseeching the PDP to hand over the party ticket to Mr. Peter Obi. Majid Dahuru granted an interview asking the PDP to hand over the party ticket to Mr. Peter Obi. He told the PDP that if they fail to give the party ticket to Mr. Peter Obi, they will be sailing against the wind and that they will go into oblivion. He did not only grant that interview, he wrote an article in that regard. Peter Obi was the man of the moment. Peter Obi was the wave of the moment at that time. Any political party that is sincere about winning a credible election, any political party that is sincere about the welfare and the progress of Nigeria would have rushed to hand over the party ticket to Mr. Peter Obi because that is a guarantee winning ticket. Peter Obi being in PDP and getting the presidential ticket is an automatic win for the PDP. There is no two ways about it. If Peter Obi had won the PDP presidential ticket, Bola Ahmed Tinubu would not have been the president today. There would have been no way that APC or Bola Ahmed Tinubu would have sneaked their way in to becoming the president or the leading political party in Nigeria. But PDP, being a political party that is monetized, being a dollarized political party, decided to ignore Mr. Peter Obi. They decided to ignore all the analysis from Majid Dahuru and all the warning from other well-respected Nigerians that asked them to hand over the party ticket to Mr. Peter Obi. Today, PDP as a party is crumbling. Or let me say has crumbled. Many people, they are leaving the PDP and they are going to APC, a party that no Nigerians want to identify with. A party that Nigerians hate so much, but that is the same party that people from PDP are moving into. Like I said, whatever is happening to PDP today was foretold as far back as 2022. Now let me read you the article that Majid Dahuru wrote asking the PDP to hand over their party ticket to Mr. Peter Obi. Listen carefully, you will enjoy it. He titled his article PDP and the Consequences of Sailing Against the Wind in 2023 by Majid Dahuru. At a time when the elements of the conservative northern political establishment in the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) appear to have resolved to shift presidential power to the south of Nigeria in 2023, the liberal northern politicians in the opposition political party PDP seem determined to retain power in the northern region beyond 2023. Led by President Muhammadu Buhari, the conservative northern establishment, which has been in firm control of the politics of Nigeria's largest democratic demography since 2015, when the APC came to power, may have come to the realization that it cannot hold on to power after 8 years without severe consequences for the unity and continuous existence of Nigeria. From all indications, as seen in the near absence of northern presidential aspirants on this platform, the President Buhari-led APC has clearly settled for a Nigerian president of southern origin, beginning from 2023, when Nigerians will go to the polls to vote for a new president. On the other hand, the PDP, with its strongest political support base in the south and minority areas of the north, the Middle Belt, and which is expected to be the most willing to pick its presidential candidate from the region, is looking towards the north for its presidential redemption. Clearly unprepared for a southern presidency, the PDP is hoping to opportunistically inherit the massive vote of northern Nigeria by feeding a candidate from the region at a time the APC is looking south. In the thinking of many, a PDP stalwart from the south, the interest of the party should be to win the next presidential election by any means possible and not be consigned by the morality of zoning for the purpose of equity, justice, and unity. Having been defeated twice in the 2015 and 2019 presidential election by the APC, which was heavily enamored on both occasions by the massive vote of Nigeria's largest voting bloc in the Muslim North, some PDP stalwarts from the south, like members of a defeated army whose officers and men are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, have surrendered to the political supremacy of northern Nigeria. In their consideration, an average Muslim northerner is incapable of making rational political decisions without being influenced by ethnogeographic and religious sentiment, which makes it impossible for a southerner to defeat a northerner in any presidential contest in Buhari's Nigeria. And for the PDP to win back the presidency of Nigeria in 2023, the candidate has to be a northern and a Muslim. Even when there are clear indications that the political establishment in the region has reached a decision to cede power to the south in 2023, some PDP pundits have expressed doubt about the sincerity of this purpose, given the fact that northern Nigeria holds the knife, power, and the yam, patronage, and can decide to keep both. Relying on this impression of the political invisibility of the Muslim North, a legion of presidential aspirants from the region have been straddling the length and breadth of Nigeria and making a case for winnability over the morality of zoning as the PDP prepares for the 2023 presidential election. However, the widespread clamor for power shift to the south by leaders of the region across ethnic, religious, and partisan divide, as contained in the Asaba Declaration of the 17 Southern Governors in May 2021, a position that has been adopted by the leadership of ethnic nationalities in the region, and the seeming willingness of the APC to field a southern candidate in the 2023 presidential election, has made the PDP find itself in a state of flux amidst a raging controversy over zoning. While it is true that the North has the knife and yam in Buhari's Nigeria, yet much as it may want to keep both, it is in the long-term interest of the region to relinquish power to the south as a last-ditch effort to salvage whatever is left of Nigeria's national unity and corporate coexistence. Whereas the North wants power, still it needs the unity of the Nigerian state for its regional self-enlightening interests. Having failed to improve the socio-economic condition of the region and leaving it, by the end of his 8 years rule, a terrorized, war-torn, poverty-stricken dungeon of insecurity, President Buhari, despite his crass sectionalism, failed to win northern Nigeria off revenue dependency from oil minerals and tax revenues from the south. It is the monthly allocation from the crude oil revenues to the 19 states and 419 local government of the north that is used to form the elaborate and flamboyant MRA system in the region. Just as the monthly allocation is also used to sustain the rich lifestyle of the political elite and their ulama collaborators, whose duty is to put a stamp of religious authority on their divine rights to rule over the people. Most importantly, for a region that is ravaged on all sides by a terrorist group, northern Nigeria may fall to the combined armies of Boko Haram and killer herdsmen in the event of a prolonged disruption of oil production by militant agitators in the oil-producing state of the south, resulting in the inability of government to fund security operations. Aware of this stark reality, in addition to a deeply polarized polity along the north-south and the Muslim-Christian divide, the North may have taken a painful decision to cede power to a trusted ally and a friend from the South, who has the capacity to heal a fractured Nigeria by not elevating the interests of his region over those of the others. It may have been provoked, abused, and maligned, but the North is not ready for a divorce from the Southern Lady of Mings. And this is why no Northern presidential candidate of any party is likely to make such impact in the North, as most of the votes in the region will be mobilized for a preferred Southern candidate in the 2023 presidential election. For a multi-ethnic and religious country like Nigeria, the principles of zoning and rotation of political leadership position amongst the constituent peoples and region, which has been in place since its independence in 1960, as a means of ensuring justice, inclusivity, peace and unity, is affirmed in Section 14, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution, which states that the composition of the government of the Federation or any of its agencies and the conduct of its affairs shall be carried out in such a manner as to reflect the federal character of Nigeria and the need to promote national unity and also to command national loyalty, thereby ensuring that there shall be no predominance of persons from a few states or from a few ethnic or other sectional groups in that government or in any of its agencies. It is in furtherance of this constitutional provision that a political convention was involved to rotate the office of the president between the pre-amalgamation 1914 territories of the northern and southern Nigeria every after 2 terms of 8 years each. That the PDP may not sail against the strong wind of the presidency that is blowing south would be for the party to field a southern candidate as its candidate in the 2023 presidential election. For the PDP, the 2023 presidential election is not just about winnability, but actually survival. While the APC is dominant in the north and the PDP's strongest support base is in the south, the move by the APC to field a southern candidate in the 2023 presidential election will torpedo the PDP from the region. If the party field a northern candidate, and if the PDP goes ahead to sail against the wind in 2023 by fielding a northern candidate, the ship of the party will capsize, sink into oblivion, as the party will lose in the north and in the south to the APC and go into extinction in post-Buhari Nigeria. To avoid the catastrophe that will befall the PDP, they need to hand their party ticket to Mr. Peter Obi, who seems to be the preferred candidate among Nigerian youths. This is the end of that beautiful piece. Now, this man ensured he held Twitter space, went on the national television, advising the PDP to hand over their party ticket to a southerner, most preferably Mr. Peter Obi, but the PDP ignored that warning and the field is a northern candidate, who is Atiku Abubakar. Permit me to say that Atiku Abubakar is the major problem of the PDP. His greed, his insatiable quest to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has led the PDP into this total destruction and collapse that she is facing today. Atiku Abubakar is one of those that left the PDP in 2015 to form the APC, and he was one of those that financed the campaign of President Muhammadu Buhari. Seeing that he has no headway in the APC, he decided to come back in the PDP. The PDP respected his choice and they gave him the party ticket in 2019 as a northerner. If not because of greed, if not because of his insatiable quest to gain power, if not because he wants to become the president by all means, what exactly was Atiku Abubakar contesting for in 2023? All he would have done is to allow the southern candidate to slug it out for the PDP party ticket, the same way the southern candidates allowed the northerners to slug it out in 2019. When Atiku Abubakar got the ticket in 2019, no southerner contested that party ticket with him. Him and other northerners contested it alone, but Atiku Abubakar decided to contest again in 2023. That was the reason Mr. P2B left the PDP, and the subsequent emergence of Atiku Abubakar as the PDP presidential flag bearer angered Nyesom Wike, who decided to work against the party and supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Even though we are not in support of his support for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but Nyesom Wike is having a fair argument when he says that it is the turn of the southern candidate and not a northern candidate. PDP has been in crisis before and after the election. PDP is on the brink of collapse because of one-man greed, because the party choose to monetize their party rather than making it a party for the interests of Nigerians. And they seem not to have learned their lesson. We have the 2027 general election. Rather than seeking a way of salvaging what they did in 2023, rather than seeking for a way to hand over their party tickets to a southerner, Atiku Abubakar is still parading himself as a preferred presidential candidate. It is obvious the PDP is not ready for governance. It is obvious the PDP is not ready to do the right thing in order to reclaim power. If the PDP fail to do the right thing, they will remain a failed dead political party. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.